This initiative, how is this important to you, and what do you hope this accomplishes then? Just to tell their stories and to share that,
Well, when I think about where I hope we are in a year, I want the conversation to be different. I want the military families to feel this support on the ground. This isn't about, empty words or deeds. This isn't, this isn't about politics. This isn't blue or red or anything. This is about making sure that these families in the end feel like everyone in this country, first of all, understands their sacrifice, appreciates it, and that we're all doing our part to step up. One of the things that we can't forget is that 1% of our population is protecting the rights and freedoms of the rest of us. 1% of our population serves, right? So if we want a strong defense, if we want to feel safe in this land, we have to support our military, but they're only as strong and as solid as their families are. My husband says that every time he goes to Afghanistan or visits troops, they're not asking him for better equipment, new armor. They're not talking about their own deployment. They're not talking about their safety. The one thing they need to know while they're serving is that their families are good.
I always say that the military is not a job, but it's a lifestyle, because my husband, when he told me at 24 that he was going in, I knew nothing about the military whatsoever. So when we went to go see the recruiter, I'm thinking that me and the girls were going to go on a deployment with him. So I'm calling my mom saying, Mom, I don't know how I'm going to fit all of this stuff in the sea bag, me and the girls, but we're going to be on the ship with him for 6 months, and she was like, so they're doing that? And I'm like, I guess, but,
Wow.
And it quickly came that a job is Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 5. A lifestyle is something that you're on call 24/7 that you have to do, and that's what my husband does.
I know when I raised my right hand, I took that challenge that, I would leave my family, and I always knew that it was for a good cause. My wife right here, she's been doing it for 18 and a half years now. Back in 2007, I retired from the military. And before retiring, we thought we was going to retire together. I came back from Iraq the second time, and when I got back, I was having problems breathing, and I didn't know what the problems were. And I found out right before I retired that I had a lung disease. Yeah. And although I have this lung disease, it doesn't change the fact that we've chosen to, be a part of the military and make those sacrifices and what have you. So that I would never change. I wouldn't change anything about that. It has helped me be a greater person myself.
It's been such a relief having family in the military. I wish that other people got to experience that. One of my favorite experiences in Afghanistan was my sister was stationed at this fixed operating base called Jalalabad. And it's a very small, horribly built runway. I mean, we would go in there and have to do the assault takeoffs and landings. And we flew in there one time to drop off a bunch of cargo. And as we were departing, we heard my sister over the radio, and she was coming back in from being out all night flying. And just hearing her making her radio calls to the tower, and we're exiting, and I was like, hi, Amber. It was honestly like so weird. I used to dress her up as like a poodle. And
is there anything you'd like to say to the writers and creators in the room about the importance of telling their story that you haven't already mentioned, or anything specific that you think we should be considering?
Well, again, I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming together to listen, to learn. Thank you for the work that you've already done, because so many of you have already been telling those stories. Joining Forces is really an initiative to shine a light on the the work that so many people are already doing. It recognizes that as First Lady and as the Second Lady, Jill Biden, she didn't like to be called Second Lady. she's right up there with me, the first and the first. What we know is that there's a power in this platform that we have, that people follow us around and they look at our shoes, and while they're looking at our shoes, we can actually turn their attention to something really important, like these families. And that's true for all of you. You all have the vehicle to tell stories that just pull people in. And if we think again about that year-long goal, that in the end, this isn't just about the story, but it's really about having the men and women and their families who serve our country feel the gratitude every day from a grateful nation. If we can say we've done that, and if we set this foundation, not just for today, but forever, regardless of who the president is in office, that this is a part of who we are as Americans, lifting these families up. If we are all a part of that, and I know this group is more than capable of doing that, then we've been successful. So I would just urge you to do what you do best. Be creative, be funny, be powerful, move us, move America to think differently about these issues and about these families and about our men and women who serve so graciously.
I think she really, truly wants to help families, and that's just, what more can you ask for from a First Lady? I mean, that's what they're supposed to be doing, and she truly believes in it, so I appreciate that. And I appreciate that she got you guys all together to do this, because I think everybody, all the service members in the military deserve some sort of recognition. And everybody loves Hollywood, so that's a good form of recognition.
It just reminds you of what matters and what's real, and that there are these, there are hundreds and thousands of families who are sacrificing every single day. And of course, you know that. Intellectually, you know that. But that's to look into the eyes of people who are doing this right now and raising children on their own and saying goodbye to their spouses for a number of tours. And it was a great emotional reminder, as funny as it was heartbreaking sometimes. I think the writer's job is to listen, observe, take it in, and process. And anytime there's something that makes you feel something, that's sort of the reason we're doing what we do.
The veterans need to be welcomed home, not just for the veterans, but for the families. I know a lot of the men and women here and across the nation are children from the Vietnam era, and they've heard all the stories, and all the bad things that happened during that. And it's those men and women from the Vietnam era that have helped pave this road for us. This joining forces is just another step in the right direction, welcoming veterans and of all generations home. And that means so much to me because I come from a family of veterans. To say the least, I'm humbled. I think this was an amazing opportunity for every person in uniform here, every person that's ever put on a uniform. This was an amazing opportunity for all of them. For my wife and I to be here and be considered the special guest, I still look in the mirror and I'm just like, hey, I'm a little old boy, little boy from a small town. And I don't know, it's humbling.